Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th edition of Tim Talks. My name is Tim Cox, and we are so happy to have you here today. Really excited about what we're talking about today and who we're talking about it with. You know, with this new climate that we're in right now. First of all, I'm a glass half full guy, and I am just hearing just great reports all around the country. Yes, there's still parts, a lot of parts of the country that dealerships are not open or open at a limited capacity, but just hearing some amazing stories about just how versatile and how tough our automotive space is. Today, we have the one and only Bob Lanham, who is the head of automotive retail for Facebook. And we are going to be discussing the new up. So with climate change and everything going on in our space, shoppers are shopping differently. We are looking at marketing plans for dealership groups, and they are looking at maybe pay-per-click differently, or SEO or SEM. And we're going to really dive in with Bob about what he's seeing to get real live data here, and then what he suggests that we do. By the way, if you have a question that you would love to ask Bob, please just type it in the chat, and we will be happy to send that to you right now, or answer those as they come up. So with that, Bob, welcome to Tim Talk.
It's awesome to be here. I greatly appreciate it. And can I ask your team to do an opening video for me? I don't have one. I need one.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll make that happen. You know, I'm pretty sure, I've got to check, but I think that our marketing budget is probably slightly smaller than your boss, Zuckerberg. I'm pretty sure of that. But if you need some help, we could be happy to send you an inflated invoice if you could handle that for us. That would be great.
Second, when do we all get to apologize for our haircuts, since we haven't been able to get a haircut in 2 months? I've never had hair this long before. I don't even know what to do with it.
But you're wearing it well. You're wearing it well, and you know, we used to make fun of Flobies back in the day, and if you're under 30, you have no freaking idea what we're talking about. My idea is just, you know, I'm buying more hair gel from Amazon and just matting it on my head to where it doesn't, it doesn't float around. So, you know, great opening statement, Bob. I really appreciate that. I'm sure the viewers that took their time out, you know, appreciated our hair comments. So that's great stuff. Well, let's dive right into it, since that joke bombed. Let's dive right into, just kind of tell us what you're seeing from Facebook. Obviously, there's a lot of innovative companies out there that are trying to push the envelope. We happen to be one of them. But what are you seeing? You know, some of the numbers that if you could just share with our listeners. And the great thing about what's happening is we're getting reports on how much these are shared and reshared throughout the week and the upcoming week. So there's a lot of dealers that need help right now. You know, you mentioned it last night on our Facebook Live that we did. You know, in all seriousness, you know, you and I joke around a lot, but I am passionate. And I know, based on becoming friends with you, you are passionate about truly serving our dealers. So if anything else today, I want people to tune in to go away with something, to say, you know what, I didn't know that. I'm going to try that. That's really inexpensive to try that, and then play around with that. You know, we've got great friends like Jared Kilway that think outside the box, and others that are really doing some really cool things with Facebook. You know, so let's start there. If you do see on the screen, we've got the first poll question. Please take this, answer this, and we're going to give this later on in the Tim Talk. Do you currently use Facebook in your marketing plans for sales? And then number two, do you currently use Facebook in your marketing plans for service? So we'll come back to that. So Bob, I just teed you up a little bit. Kind of tell us what you're seeing, how much time people are spending, what's happening with Messenger, what's happening with Marketplace. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Tim. And as we've traveled together, I truly do, like yourself, have a huge passion for the space. I had the opportunity to sell cars down at Toyota Sarasota in the 90s. By no means do I pretend to be an expert, a know-it-all. It's been a number of years. I continue to learn from those out in the space that are doing it today. But at the end of the day, it is a new day. It's a new world. It's a new process. It's a new sale that we have to all endure here. And I'll just give you a couple of statistics to set the tone, maybe. And for those of you that maybe own some Facebook stock or follow our earnings calls, you heard that we grew this past quarter here in the U.S. We have 223 million adults 18 plus on our platform every month. The number that I love to give often is we have 171 million adults 18 plus on our platform every single day. And it was interesting. I was actually just listening to an internal training on messaging before I signed on. It was something that we just launched a little while ago. And what was fun was there were a couple of stats related to messaging, because that is something that we should focus on, because that's probably the biggest increase or change that we're seeing, is the fact that people want to be able to message a business. And they want to be able to message a business instantaneously, and they expect replies. In fact, they're expecting replies faster than they expect a reply on email, or even a phone call. But here's a stat that popped out that I thought was interesting. This is a global statistic right here. But 2 in 3 people said they would shop a business that they could message. Right. And some of the stats for those dealers out there that have seen myself or the rest of the team present, you've heard us say this stat before, that 69% of people that we've surveyed say they feel more confident in a brand that they can message, and that 58% of people feel more confident messaging a business than filling out a form on a website. And that's why we're kind of calling it the new lead, or the new up. Or the new lead, or in fact, the title of the research was the new normal.
Right.
This is truly the new normal. So what we're seeing a great deal, and what we're being asked about a lot, is how should we be handling messaging, and what role should messaging play in my business?
So, you gave me a stat, and it might, our core product is our communication. That's why everything we built the foundation of our messaging, texting, SMS platform first, and then everything we built on top of that, because we're all in with that. Would you please give them, and then I'm going to unpack this a little bit, will you please give our listeners that story of you at the 20 group, and then I want to unpack that, and it's going to may sound a little weird coming from us being a messaging company and a digital retailing company, but would you give that stat of that 20 group as far as, let's start with marketplace, because this is something that I really want everybody, we're not selling anything. I want something, dealers listening, that they could flip the switch right now today without spending a dime, and can absolutely immediately see an impact. So would you share that story, please?
Yeah, and Tim, and before I do that, you said something that I thought was important, especially for those that are watching, is we're not selling anything today. Right. I'm not selling anything, you're not selling. And as you and I have talked, in fact, we said this recently, I said this to you recently, I said, I don't tell you anything different that I wouldn't tell anyone else. So I think it's important for the viewers to understand that. But, I have the ability, or I should say the privilege, to present at many 20 groups throughout the year. And they're fantastic. I love doing 20 groups. I learn a great deal from 20 groups. And I was presenting our Facebook Marketplace slide, and I was just simply talking about who's on Marketplace, about the product, how you get your vehicles on there. And I had a dealer on the left, and what's great about 20 groups is, dealers are very honest, they're upfront, and they're straightforward very quickly too. I had a dealer on my left specifically say, Marketplace stinks, it doesn't perform for me, it's the worst product ever, you guys should shut it down. And then I had a dealer directly across from this person say, you're absolutely crazy. It's one of my top performing properties that we invest in. And, I just kind of let them discuss, because that's the whole point of 20 groups, is just to let discuss. And, at the end of the day, what the close of the story was this. The dealer where we were one of their top properties or their top property for used cars, handled their messaging directly. They had a process in place at their store. They used a platform. In fact, I think it was yours, so that the message instantly went into your platform, so it was tracked by their CRM. They could hand it off to specific people, and they had a process that they owned. And they treated it no different than anyone physically walking through the doors of the showroom, right? It's still a human being. It's literally no different, whether they're physically there or they're over there, on the other side of the phone. And the dealer on the left did not have a process and did not understand that they maybe should test out or at least set a process on handling conversations. So one of the biggest takeaways I learned from it was for us to go back to our team and start to look at close rates when dealers got involved quickly. And what we saw is close rates on sales grew when there was a process in place for handling the messaging. So, and here's what's interesting about Marketplace that I want to make sure if you're not aware, you understand it, because it's probably one of the most important things to understand about Marketplace, outside of just wanting to list on one of the largest entities. There are two primary forms of communication between seller and buyer on Marketplace. Two. Three if you want to count a click to the website that then goes to the homepage. But the one is Messenger. It's the primary source, which is messaging. We have the message button pretty much front and center, and the second one's click to call. And it's by design, right? We know that the process and the experience to message has proven for many to be greater than maybe traditional form leads or emailing or whatnot. So our team, rightfully so, designed messaging to be the primary source of communication between buyer and seller. So that's the story of the 20 group. And I learned a great deal that when dealers have a process, they do very well. When dealers don't have a process, they need to get one very quickly.
And I'm gonna come back to that in just a second. And did I hear the number wrong? Did you tell me that Messenger traffic is up 70% this year? 70%.
Group messaging is up 70%, but standard messaging one-to-one is up 50%. And this is globally from actually from March over to April, and it's probably grown even since then. But just messaging as a whole, first of all, that might sound like a good percentage, but messaging already was very popular. Messaging's been around 6, 7, 8 years, so people already have a behavior of messaging and using apps like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp and iMessage, etc. So this isn't necessarily a new behavior for the consumer. It's just a new behavior for businesses who have not adapted yet.
And this is the first point that I want to give viewers listening to take home. I always like to say, we want to be the grocery store. Let's give you some groceries so you can go home and cook dinner tonight, right? So we obviously have well over 4,000 dealers on our some sort of our messaging platform. And that being said, what we can unpack now is if in fact you use us or another provider, that's fine. But if you are having even us answer your Facebook Marketplace ads, the wise thing to do is maybe after hours, absolutely, flip it on. But during business hours, make sure that you can customize, make sure that you put together, depending on the size of your dealership, a group of 2 or 3 people that, and look, you're not gonna get it blown up to where they can't do anything else, but put 2 or 3 people together, schedule them to where when these marketplace ads come in, they're on them. Nobody's better. So what happens is, even though, companies like ours, we talk about lead conversion and this and that, but even still, if the dealer's not involved, we put them into that CRM. And so everybody knows how well salespeople and sales managers work with a CRM. Sometimes you need the jaws of life just to get a lead out. We take a live lead, we turn them into a dead lead, and then we have to resuscitate them and get them back. Why in the world would we not jump in, at least during business hours, and talk directly to that consumer? That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen, from dealership A in Bob's 20 group selling and closing at 80%. Would you take that right now? 80%, especially on pre-owned cars. The great thing about pre-owned cars, there's only one car exactly like that one. And if you love on that customer, if you information overload them, if you take care of that customer, you're going to close. If you don't and you throw them into the CRM, it's yes, some of them are going to close, but you get what you get. So I would highly encourage you, if you do not do that right now, look, doesn't cost you a dime, don't have to sign a contract, don't have to do anything. It's just, you know, from us being all over the country and looking at best practices in 20 groups, it's just facts over feelings. So that's the first takeaway. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about if you're a new, what would your advice be? Okay, I always like to say, if a Martian landed on the earth and was getting in the car business, had no idea how to market on Facebook, and I know we didn't even discuss this, so I'm clubbing you over the head out of left field, I apologize, but give me steps where we should start to truly be effective and start putting my toe in the water, because we've been hearing about Facebook for a long time. And 6, 7, 8 years ago, when we started hearing this, even myself as a dealer, I was really, not a dealer, but a sales manager, really skeptical. But now it's undeniable. So nobody's done anything. I know we've got some professionals out there with Facebook, but nobody knows anything. Where do we start, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, to start, just do a search for Facebook's dealer hub. At least start there, and I'll tell you why. We've got 2 documents on there right now. One of them is our playbook for advertising strategies, which I'll get to in a second. But the other one that we just launched is it's called a one-sheeter, but of course it's 4 pages of free tools that are already tied to your Facebook page or your Instagram handle. And for those of you on the line that are unaware, Facebook also owns Instagram. I actually still get that question quite a bit. And real quick, let me just go over those 4 free tools. And I gave you the numbers: 223 million adults 18 plus on our platform monthly, 171 million a day, right? So in any given market, whether that's a DMA or a city or zip, we're going to be most likely one of the largest marketing platforms with people on them. So here are the 4 free tools. The first one, believe it or not, is as simple as it can be, but really important. It's called a pinned post, meaning you make a post, top right-hand corner, you pin it. So the first time anybody goes to your Facebook page, it's the first post they see. In today's world, it could be your new hours and operations. It could be your new sales process. It could be a new service process. It could be a cleaning schedule you want to post. Just whatever information it is that you want people to see right away, pin the post. The second one is messaging, right? And we just talked about it, and we'll dig more. It's free. It's already tied to your page. Set it up so that when someone comes to your page, Messenger already appears with a greeting. Hi, Bob. Thank you for coming to our Facebook page. How can I help you today? The third one is Facebook Live, okay? Your phone off of your Facebook page has the ability to literally go live or broadcast to all of the people that follow your dealership. It's a great way to meet the staff. It's a great way to do walkarounds of the new vehicles, right? It's a great way to give an update on whatever it is. It's free of charge. And what's nice about it is after the video is done, it saves and is recorded and saved and stays on your page. So you can use it for advertising. You can keep it for later. And the last one is stories, Facebook stories and Instagram stories. And what's interesting about stories is some are saying that stories might replace the feed one day. The feed being where we scroll from the bottom to the top. Stories have become very popular. People just click the first one and then they can sit back and watch what people are doing. So go to the hub, download the 4 free tools, give them a shot. They don't cost you a dime. Have some fun with it, learn from it. The second document is our playbook. And this is paid strategies, this is advertising. And know that we've designed the playbook around strategies that dealers have been running for generations, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years plus. They're not anything new. You don't have to have a PhD in social media or Facebook to understand them. They're strategies that dealers have been running. They just didn't know they could run them on Facebook. And the first strategy is probably one of the most important that everyone's heard me talk about. It's called the why buy. Why do I come to Cox Toyota versus Lanham Toyota, right? We're 8 miles apart. I have options, plus there's 3 other stores probably down the road. Tell me why I should at least engage with you. It's a brand strategy, right? It's a brand strategy. And what's interesting about brand strategies, and I really hope dealers figure this out, and I think they are, is when you run brand advertising for your dealership, while at the same time running what we call lower funnel strategies, where you want to click or you want to lead, maybe a message, or you want engagement, you want physical engagement in something. When you run a brand in conjunction with lower funnel, we have actually seen the lower funnel advertising increase in engagement. And I've told this story 100 times, Tim, and you'll appreciate it as a formal general manager. Never once in my Saturday mornings on the second floor, above the showroom, did I have a consultant come in or GM or GSM train us to take an up like this. Hi, welcome to Toyota of Sarasota. Can I have your name, your phone number, your email, and do you plan on buying from me today? Right? Like never once did I ever get trained on that's how I handle an up. But we do that when we only run lead ads, or we only run ads where we expect them to click. You have to ask for the click. You have to earn the click. The second strategy is a why buy here strategy. It's VIN specific. It takes your inventory feed. It uses our machines, analyzes data, and finds the people to deliver the right VIN at the right time to the right person. It's a set it and let it strategy. You set it up once and you let it go. You just need a VIN. You just need an inventory feed. Third is customers for life. If there's one takeaway that I could get someone to realize is we're one of the largest CRM remarketing platforms. We're not a CRM platform, but we can take people a dealership knows their CRM, sold not service lists, equity mining lists, lease maturity lists, right? First service lists, whatever lists they choose to segment. Load them into Facebook, match them to profiles, and now create an audience that only they can target against. You got to run it. It'll become one of your most profitable strategies for a dealer. And then third, events. What people don't realize is events is one of the most popular products on Facebook, which is people care about events. They want to know what the dealership's doing. They want to know what the dealership sponsored. So whatever it is, post it. And I'll close with this on how important your Facebook page has become. Okay. Some people, I'll go to some pages that hasn't been updated in weeks, years. I go to some, it's updated every day. We had a study out there that 2 out of 3 people surveyed said they visit a local business's Facebook page or their event weekly. And they visit it prior to entering that store physically. And I always tell the dealers, why do you think they visit your Facebook page before they enter? Reviews, yes. Hours in operations, yes. But what else is front and center of the page? The feed. What are you posting? Because what you post ultimately tells that potential buyer who they're about to do business with. So if it's sale, 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 they know that they're coming into a dealership that just instantly wants to sell them. But if it's, hey, we sponsored the local Little League. Hey, we contributed to this foundation. Hey, did you know Sarah was our employee of the month, right? Like they want to know who they're getting ready to do business with. Tell them that.
Let me give 2 examples of that. And we have some questions, but just rolling into what you said, about a week or so ago, and the dealership escapes me, but I saw it posted on Facebook. I saw it posted on Instagram. I saw it posted on LinkedIn, all the same story. There was a particular dealer that there was a frontline health worker that dropped her car off for service. And when she came back, and it was a pretty large service, she had no bill. So that encouraged her, and she posted on her Facebook, and like every single, I'm all over the country. I want to buy a car there. I want to buy a car there. I want to buy a car there. You know, so stuff like that. I know my friend Boris Lopez, he has 2 dealerships now, very, very successful Toyota dealer. And one of the first things he did, he went into a market and he took, and it's not overnight, it took him 5 or 6 years, but he took a store from 100 to 500. But part of his social strategy, he told me, was he found the person on Instagram that had the most viewers, and then he basically put a car out there and wrapped the car and doing all these social events with his logo at his dealership on there. So obviously there's other things that he did, but we cannot stress that enough. I want to get to a couple questions that are coming in, and then I want to really talk about what we're doing in service together, and then why every dealer needs to take every form off of their website and make it seamless. So we have a couple questions. Let's see. Can I push? So Brian is asking, Brian Neves is asking, can I push Facebook posts into our Instagram page? Can I push Facebook posts into our Instagram page?
It's actually reversed. You can go Instagram to Facebook, not Facebook to Instagram.
Okay, so the dealer just needs to start at, so Brian, you just need to start at Instagram and then push directly to Facebook. And that's the only question. I thought there was a couple.
QA, Tim?
I'm sorry?
We have another in the QA section, so I'll just go ahead and feed it to you guys.
Sure.
Facebook have a one-pager resource document that explains using and setting up Facebook Live, pinned posts, and Messenger that we can use to illustrate with our stores to initiate a comprehensive setup for those that aren't as familiar with the possibilities. That was it.
Is she asking where that lives, or is she asking if there is one? Because whoever asked that literally listed out exactly what's in the one pager.
Yeah, so I think she's asking where it lives. How can she get it?
Yep, just do a search for Facebook Dealer Hub, or you can do a search for Facebook Dealer Playbook. I can give you the URL real quick here. I should probably have it memorized, but it's actually not a super clean URL. So it's facebook.com/business/M/dealer hub. And then we've got both the playbook and that document right at the top. We also have some how-to videos, so how to load your CRM, how to set up your Facebook pixel, and a bunch of other things. You can sign up for some online training that we call Blueprint, and then our newsletter. And you're going to see this evolve too. In fact, here shortly, and I'm sort of teasing this, and I actually spent the morning working on this. We're going to launch an external Facebook group for the marketplace, so that we can do a lot better job at distributing information for those who want to hear from us directly.
Adam Thrasher, hello Adam. Adam's a friend. Adam says, when will we be able to push Facebook messages directly to CRM or text message? I'll let you handle that, and then I'll give you my answer.
Yeah, well, I'll answer for you, but natively or on its own right now, you're right, Adam, it is not tied directly to a CRM. But there are platforms like CarNow and others that have done that, who have done that, where the message will go into their platform. You would use their platform to engage, and then because you're using their platform, it's automatically tied to a CRM. But natively at the moment, you are absolutely correct. It is not tied to a CRM platform.
Awesome. And I'd like to give a shout out to my buddy Brian Toole and Sean Niffen, 2 of the best digital guys. I know you know Niff, Bobby. I just called you Bobby. Do you like that? Anyway.
Oh, I'm known at home in New Jersey.
It's all good. It's all good. So shout out to you guys. And another question here. Marissa asked, hello, Marissa. She asked, is there a way to post to Instagram directly from your computer?
Can you repeat that? To Instagram.
Is there a way to post to Instagram directly from your computer instead of your phone?
That's a great question. Here's a funny story on that. Instagram. Here's actually funny. It's great. It's a very good question. I don't know. When Facebook bought Instagram, there was no Instagram.com. Like there was no website. Facebook actually built the website. Instagram is, well, let me go back. Out of the 223 million adults 18 plus on our platform every month, 95% of them use Facebook and our properties on our mobile device, on their mobile device. So 95% of our users are mobile. So I actually don't have that answer. I will find that answer.
The people the people that register for TIMTALKS are often smarter than
are smart.
So
you can download an app.
My buddy out in God's country, out in Indiana, says yes, you can. You download the app from Microsoft and then app for Windows. So
thank you, Brian.
There you go. So Brian,
taught me something.
We're gonna have you and Nif on later to clear some things up. One thing I do want to give everybody the story of how we met. It was very beautiful. I'll never forget it. But in all seriousness, in this, I heard David Kane, who I know we're buddies with. We were both talking to him this week. I'm not sure if David coined this phrase, but he said, experience is your new brand. Experience is your new brand. So about 11 months ago, we tested this theory by, and then Brian Pash, the week before, literally said, if you have forms on your website, you need to stop trying to control your customers and start trying to serve your customers. And by forms, the bounce rates and people filling them out. So what we did about 10, 11 months ago is, most of you know, we took over call to actions like get e-price. Well, just two for starters, get e-price and schedule a test drive. We started with 9 dealerships. Taking forms off their website, we increased the lead conversion by doing exactly what we're talking about, creating that experience, making it seamless. We increased the lead conversion by 133%. So Brian found out this data, as well as David Kane, and I had the privilege to present at both conferences in November of last year. Well, fortunately for myself, at the Kane conference, Bob was there and just presented and just crushed a talk that he did, and we started a conversation. And then we got lucky enough that our gates were literally side by side as we were flying out of Lexington, Kentucky. So we got to talking. And Bob said, listen, if you could take that same experience, he said, he gave me the same data. Obviously, this is pre-COVID, but he gave the same data and said, listen, Messenger is up 50%. If you could take that same data or that same AI workflow, put it into Messenger, and then do a direct API integration with Xtime, Time Highway, the service schedulers. He said, listen, I will take that, and that's just going to be phenomenal, and I'll talk to all the dealers about it. So where we can, the big word with Bob is frictionless. We need to make our websites frictionless for consumers. And we did, and we've got dealers signed up, and we're getting ready to be down the home stretch as far as going live. But that is just a way. It's not deniable. I love when something happens or we test something and the data is so, it's not even debatable at this point. This is the way consumers want to shop. Nif, I know I was talking to you the other day. We're getting ready to do this to your website, taking these forms down, making it seamless for the customer, and then you just watch the interaction. Do you want to speak on that a little bit, on where that's going? Because there's so much, and we're obviously talking about building several things together to enhance that experience both in Marketplace and Messenger. But could you take the lead on that now?
Yeah, I mean, like many businesses, and some do it far superior than others, but you want to create a frictionless process, right? You want to make it easy for a customer or potential customer to do business with you. You don't want to make it hard. And I have a good buddy who's in the call tracking industry business, and this isn't the exact stat, so please do not holding me to this, but it was less than 50%, I'll say, that calls into a dealership actually landed to the intended department or person that it was meant to. And it got me thinking, if you're just trying to make an oil change, right? I have to have an oil change. I have to get an oil change. Why is it so hard? And, when I'm in the room, and probably most of you dealers that are on the line right now, this is not for you, because you probably have a great process when people call the store. But the reality is you get someone who talks very fast. Hi, thank you for whatever the name of the dealership is. And you're transferred before you even finish, right? And then you kind of start the process all over, and next thing you know, 8 minutes later, you may or may not have scheduled an oil change. But why can't you just do that with a few clicks of the button? I could spend $2,000 with Amazon in 2 clicks of a button. Why can't I spend $19.99, $59.99, $89.99, whatever the dollar amount is, to get an oil change that I have to get? So that was our conversation. What I said to you was, I was just really surprised that a company out there hasn't built a bot that simply scheduled service appointments starting with the oil change. You have connections, or you have the ability to connect to the scheduling software, which is most important because you don't want to get the dealer involved. And you have the ability to market to a CRM list or to specific people need service. How hasn't anybody built a scheduling bot that just simply targets those that need service? Click here, let the bot have the conversation, schedule, and then have it automatically go into platforms like Xtime, et cetera. And kudos to you guys. No more than 3 weeks later, you had the first test bot running, and we're still working out some kinks, especially on our end. You guys, it was so ahead of the curve that we are working through some execution on our end, but no doubt, I think you make it easy for people to do business with you, and they're going to do business with you. This is a perfect example of making it easy to do business with you. And what I always learned, from Bob Dockery at Toyota of Sarasota when he was the dealer principal with his wife Susan, was service for us at least was the number one loyalty strategy, right? I think we had a stat that if we could get someone that we sold a car to or a vehicle to come into our store just twice in 1 year. So 2 oil changes in 1 year. If we get them twice in 1 year over the ownership of their vehicle, we had a 5-time more likely chance to resell them another car. So why wouldn't we want to make it easy for them to do service?
Yeah, and that's the way we look at it. We've got 2 questions, Rebecca and Travis. We're going to get to you, and then we're going to land this plane. We really believe that if you provide a frictionless way to communicate with your customers, and you treat your customers, we don't care, everybody bangs on leads. Listen, all we got to do is take better care of the leads that we have. And quite frankly, what is digital retailing? A service appointment, quite frankly, is digital retailing, because if they have equity, that could be a deal, and making it easy. So you need to create a frictionless ecosystem in your dealership to where no matter where someone touches, there's no forms, it's smooth, it flows one to the other moving forward. Rebecca Robbins asked, how do you see Instagram TV videos being used for dealerships in the future?
Yeah, so Facebook Live and Instagram Live, so we have that there as well. How do I see it? I see it as a way for dealerships to, again, create that sales process, but have to do it online. I'll just give you an example, right? During our presentation that we were supposed to follow when we were working with a customer on the lot, when it was time to start desking the deal, we walked through the service bay like many of us on the phone are taught to do. And hey, I would like you to meet one of our service managers who happens to be front and center. I would like you to meet our service director, so-and-so meet so-and-so. Like the whole point is to start. You can do that with our live features, right? You could just simply say, hi, I'm Bob Lanham with Toyota of Sarasota. today we're going to walk back to the service bay and I want you to meet our service technicians and our service director, et cetera. Like everything that you essentially are taught to do physically in the store, you can do online. So I try not to think about Instagram and Facebook differently. I understand that it's a different property. I understand there's different features. Instagram is a lot more branding than Facebook is, so keep that in mind. That's how people use it. But I love that question. Use it to walk around vehicles, right? To do demos, to meet the staff. We have a dealership chain in our area. This was fantastic. Right when COVID hit, they knew the banks were going to provide some relief. So they literally did a video outlining every bank's relief program. Well, that was fantastic, right? So whatever bank you use to lease your vehicle, you knew instantly what the relief program was for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great stuff there. There's multiple dealerships. And listen, we do need to close in just a few minutes. So if you have any other questions, you're going to be getting a link to this. You're going to get a copy of this video. Just fill out the survey. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We will continue to answer as we always get better together. So just very important that we continue to try to serve our automotive community. Travis asks, is there a way for dealers to push their own inventory into Facebook Ads Manager for retargeting purposes instead of using a vendor? It's a good question.
It is a good question. There is, through Business Manager, you have the ability to purchase a catalog right now, because the catalog is the key piece, right? You need your inventory in a structured format the way Facebook needs it. So without going into too much detail, through Business Manager, you can purchase a catalog at the moment through, why am I drawing a blank on CDK's new name? Sincero, I believe it is. Right. Formerly CDK, now Sincero. And there will be some other partners launching here shortly, like Naked Lime through Reynolds and Reynolds and a few others that will have integrated so that you can purchase catalogs and execute automotive inventory ads or VIN-specific advertising with retargeting through our platform.
Awesome. Just to give you the results of the poll, do you currently use Facebook in your marketing? 93% said yes. Do you currently use Facebook in marketing for service? 76% said, 76%, there it is on the screen, 76% said yes. And then number 3, do you directly use Facebook Messenger and Facebook Marketplace? Ironically enough, 43 and 43. So 43% said yes and not at all. 14% said not at all. So I think the low-hanging fruit, there's 2 huge takeaways if we're the grocery store, so you can start making dinner right now, is number 1, your Facebook Marketplace, your inventory. If you're having even a company like ours during business hours, yes, flip the switch so we can handle them at night. Nobody is better than your people than answering these, especially pre-owned cars, because there's one of one, right? There's only that one F-150 with 38,000 miles that has that equipment, that lift kit, whatever it is. There's only one. So you create a team of people, and then please tell us your feedback after you've done this. Take it over from handling or having a third-party BDC answer it. Very, very, very important there. And then number 2, whether you're have a PhD in Facebook or you're just getting started, go to that as Brian Toole has put the link on the chat thread, Facebook/business dealer hub to get your feet wet. And then we're here to constantly serve you. And as we draw this thing to a close, for starters, any closing comments, Bob?
The only closing comment I'll mention, and I thought about this a number of times, Tim, as you were recapping or getting ready to ask a question. I know today is very different than yesterday. And a lot of this will be a major mind shift change. And for some of you, you have to then go to your dealer principal or your general manager and get them to change their mind. And they may have been in the business for quite a long time, and that's going to be hard. But test and learn. It's the best way to make it happen. Test and learn.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we have a surprise. If you'll throw that up on the screen, Holly Ann or Olivia, we are going to beautiful Napa Valley, California. And I coined the phrase last night, Napa, where the weather doesn't suck. So it is absolutely beautiful there. Brian Pash has an event every single year, Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. Myself will be there. I know you don't want to come to see me, but beautiful Bob Lanham right there on the screen will be there as well. And the great thing about DMSC, Kane's events like this too, to where it is intimate. It is very intimate to where, you know, you have one-on-one time. If you've got specific questions, there's not 1,000 people. It's a limited number of people. So we're actually, when we send you the link to the Tim Talk, please enter to win we're going to take care of airfare. Obviously, this is in July, so we'll be ready to go. Everything's going to be safe. So there's going to be airfare, hotel stay, as well as a ticket to DMSC, to where we can break some bread and partake in grapes if you choose to do that. And we are going to have an absolutely amazing time. Bob, thank you so much. Truly, we've become pretty close and just have so much respect for you, and your passion for automotive that we share is just fabulous. So this concludes another Tim Talks. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we know that no one is smarter than everyone, and let's just continue to get better together. We'll see you next week.